Hey guys, welcome back to the Fergie Time podcast. Today we will be discussing why Liverpool's transfer business has been so brilliant in recent years, and in order to do that, in my opinion, we need to rewind back to 2015 when Jurgen Klopp was first appointed as Liverpool's manager and take a look at that starting 11 that he had at his disposal. And back then, their goalkeeper was Mignolet. Their backline consisted of Klein, Sacco, Lovren, and Moreno. A midfield three of Henderson, Chan, and Milner. And then up top, Lallana, Coutinho, and Firmino, with his key subs being Lucas, Benteke, Skrtel, Sturridge, and Origi. Quite a shocking team at that point. And yeah, it's crazy to think how far they have come. From that Liverpool side in 2015, there are only 4 players that remain, and those players are Henderson, Milner, Firmino, and Origi, of course. And yeah, now I want to take a look at the transfer business that went on each of the years leading up to this 2020-2021 season. Looking back to 2016, Liverpool pulled an absolute masterclass off in the transfer window, bringing in Mane for £34 million. What a bargain that has turned out to be. Bringing in Gini for £25 million, another really good piece of business for the player he's turned out to be. And then also bringing Matip on a free, which is really good value for a low fee of £0. So brilliance from Liverpool. And then they let players like Benteke, Ibe, Allen, Alberto, and Skrtel all go, getting significant chunks of money. Benteke, £27 million. Ibe, £15 million. Allen, £13 million. So they brought in a lot of money by selling their own players, and then were able to spend that money on players like Mane, who have now reached a new level. So in that year, they spent £69 million on transfers. However, they sold £71.5 million worth of players. So they were actually able to make a very slight net gain of £2.5 million. Moving on to 2017, Liverpool back at it again with some brilliance, bringing in Salah for £34 million, and what a special player, as we know, he has turned out to be. So a great bargain. Robertson for £8 million, who has turned out, in my opinion, to be one of the best left backs in the world. So great business once again. And then the Ox for £35 million, which I think is about right for what he is. That's £77 million spent. However, again, they were selling players off and getting good value for them. Sold Sacco for £27 million, sold Stewart for £8 million, sold Lucas for £5 million, and sold Wisdom for £5 million as well. So they were able to sell players for up to £48 million, meaning once again, they didn't actually end up spending that much out of their own pocket again. A brilliant strategy from Liverpool. All right, fast forward to 2018, and this is the year Liverpool probably saw we were really close to competing or winning this Premier League title. Let's put some money down. And they decided to bring in Virgil for £75 million, Fabinho for £40 million, Keita for £52 million, Shaqiri for £13 million, and then Alisson for that big £67 million, totaling £248 million. And yes, that is tons of money. But then remember, guys, they also sold Coutinho then, and that's some great business there, because Coutinho, they sold him to Barca for £142 million. So in the end of the day, they didn't even spend as much money as it may appear. They sold Ward for £12.5 million, so they actually spent less in terms of their net spend than £100 million based on the business they did on the back end, selling valuable assets. And once again, this is such a good strategy, because you see clubs like United, like City, spend money and then not be able to make it back on players that end up flopping. Whereas Liverpool brings all these players to their highest value so they can sell certain players off to then bring new and improved players in. In 2019, Liverpool decided to take their foot off the gas after that hefty 2018 season in terms of transfers, and they just brought in Van de Berg for £1.5 million, Minamino for £7.5 million. Very good low budget signings, low risk, high reward, which I will talk about in a bit, for £9 million total, and then let players go like Ryan Kent, Mignolet, and then also Duncan for a combined £15.5 million. So again, their net spend was in a good position where they actually made money from the transfer window once again. All right, that brings us forward to 2020, and so far Liverpool have been quite quiet in the transfer market. They brought in Kostas, the left back from Olympiacos, for £12 million. They sold Lovren for £11 million, but once again, they're being quite savvy and quite careful with their money, and it makes sense considering the pandemic. That said, they've been linked to the likes of Thiago, but again, they're not looking to splash the cash. They're looking to find players that fit their needs and then looking to sell on players who are no longer of use to them. Like I said, being very, very savvy. This brings me to my big point. Since Klopp took over Liverpool in October of 2015, the club has a net spend of £115 million. And while that may sound like a lot to us normal folk, in terms of football in a 5-year period, that is nothing. The likes of Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Wolves, Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Villa, Spurs, Fulham, and Chelsea all have a much higher net spend in that same 5-year window. So, how has Klopp and how have Liverpool done this? Well, the first thing I can think of is low-risk, high-reward signings, the likes of Mane for £34 million, Salah for £34 million, Fabinho for £40 million, and Robertson for £8 million. When these players were signed by Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool, no one considered them top-tier footballers. Everyone knew they had good qualities, but Liverpool were the team to bet on those qualities and believe that they could develop that untapped potential. And that is my second point, development. Unlike many managers, Jurgen Klopp is not always looking to bring in finished products. Jurgen Klopp looks for players that are bargains with great potential, and then he wants to help them become and reach that finished product. And that's what he's done with Salah and Mane, helping them become some of the best wingers in the world, helping Fabinho become one of the best CDMs in the world, because people knew they had that potential, but he's helped them reach it. And then with Robertson, no one knew he was capable of this except for Jurgen Klopp. He looks for players with quality, belief, perseverance, and then helps nurture that growth. And that is truly special, something many managers cannot do. In 2019 and 2020, we still see Klopp using these same tactics, bringing in Minamino and Costas, two players for quite low fees, but players he believes that have great potential, and from learning from the players currently in the starting 11 can take the places of those players. Costas taking the place of Robertson and learning from them with that experience, as they are already very talented players, as we've seen from just short glimpses of them playing. So, Klopp again using this same format. However, he's going to be linked with bigger players now, like Thiago, and that's going to take on the role of Virgil van Dijk. When he spends a bit of money, Klopp is sure, he is certain that player will be a good fit, and every time he knows that they can fit in, he's scouted them immensely, like he's done with Virgil. Virgil had performed in the Premier League already. Alisson, he knew was going to come in and do a very good job. And with Thiago, he's seen him do it in the Bundesliga, a league that he knows a lot about. And he's also managed against Thiago as well. And then also, now we've seen Thiago do it in the Champions League. But again, not the most flashy signing, but a player that makes Liverpool's core that much stronger. And while I have titled this video, Why Liverpool's Transfer Business is So Brilliant, a lot of the credit, like I have given, must go to Jurgen Klopp, because since he's come in, I mean, they've really changed the way they do business. Before, they were looking to sign the flashy players, the Bentekes, the Balotellis, and instead, when Jurgen Klopp came in, they didn't look for the flashy name. They looked for the player that they could develop into that top-tier player, and he's done it at Mainz, he's done it at Dortmund, and now he is doing it at Liverpool, and that is why they have achieved the success they have in the transfer market. Anyways, guys, we will end it there. Let me know down below in the comments why you believe Liverpool's transfer business has been so brilliant in recent years. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more amazing football content. Thank you, and take it easy. Peace.
I see the blue in her eyes from the sunshine. See the purple in her heart when it's nighttime. She just wanna be in her right mind. She couldn't give a damn about the limelight. So orchestrate your